Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I wanted to share with you one of my favorite pie recipes for the holiday season. We are going to be making a cranberry apple pie with my all butter pie crust. This twist on a classic apple pie is going to be your new favorite and perfect for the holiday season and Thanksgiving. It's just a classic apple pie dotted with tart and fruity cranberries, and that combination of flavors is so incredible. You're going to love it. We'll make the filling with thinly sliced apples, cranberries, toss it all together with some sugar, butter, flour. I like to add a little bit of cinnamon to add that classic apple pie flavor. And then we're going to finish everything off with a lattice pie crust topping. Just makes this pie look extra beautiful. And then if you want, you could serve it with a little bit of vanilla ice cream on the side. You are in for a real treat with this incredible pie. Don't forget to head on down into that video description box for the recipe link. I'm going to have all the details online, including this recipe with metric measurements. Meanwhile, let's get started on this incredible recipe. You'll want to start with the pie crust. Today I'm going to be using my all butter pie crust. I have a separate video tutorial for that. I'll include the details down below. It's super easy to make your own, but of course you can also use store-bought pie crust for this recipe. I like to cut the crust into thirds, so I'm using 2/3 for the bottom crust and 1/3 for that lattice topping we're going to add on the top. And I've made this the day before. I just wrap it really well in plastic wrap, place it into the fridge, and then take it out for at least an hour before you're planning to make the pie, just to let that crust soften up a little bit so it's not super hard to roll out. Let's unwrap this pie crust, and I like to flour my work surface lightly. And I'll roll this out into a nice circle. You want to roll it out a couple inches larger than your pie pan. Gently shape and drop that pie crust into the pan. And then grab a fork and pierce the bottom of the crust, and this will prevent it from rising as it bakes and like forming little air pockets underneath. And now let's get started on the apples. We'll need 8 to 9 medium-sized apples, and I like to use a crispy, firm variety. They just hold up their texture really nicely when you're baking in the oven. We're gonna grab a peeler. We need to peel, core, and then slice the apples. I like to thinly slice the apples about 1/6 of an inch thickness. Drop the sliced apples into a large mixing bowl. And once you're done with the apples, we can add our cranberries. I like to use 1.5 cups of fresh cranberries, and I find that fresh cranberries will add the most amount of flavor. I think if you have some dried ones, I would try to reconstitute them a little bit with some hot water first, but fresh cranberries, definitely the winner for this recipe. Next, we'll add in 3/4 cups of white granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. This is going to help thicken the apple juices as the pie bakes, along with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1/4 cup of unsalted butter cubed into small little pea-sized pieces. And then use a spatula to toss this all together. You want to make sure the apple slices are well coated in the sugar and the flour. Make sure you have the cranberries evenly distributed. This apple pie filling smells so incredible already. I love the combination of apples with cinnamon. We're gonna drop into our prepared pie crust. Now this is quite a bit of filling, so it's going to kind of mountain over the top, and that is totally fine because as the apples bake, they're going to settle down and you're gonna have a flatter pie. Grab the smaller third portion of the pie crust dough. We're going to roll it out on a nicely floured work surface. You just roll it out into like a long rectangle so I can create nice and long strips of dough for the top. Slice the dough into thin strips. Start by laying the longest strips you have kind of down the center. I like to go around the edge and press all that dough together so you have one uniform piece to work with. And then I like to go around the edge one more time and kind of finish it by crimping into nice little triangles like so. And don't forget about the egg wash. Just beat 1 egg in a measuring cup. Grab a pastry brush and brush on the beaten egg onto the pie crust. This will give it that beautiful golden finish. I also like to sprinkle on some large sugar granules over the top. This gives it a beautiful finish. And this pie is ready for the oven. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and I'm going to bake my cranberry apple pie for 1 hour and 15 minutes until that crust is a rich golden brown color on the top and the apples have softened. After about 25 minutes, I like to add a pie crust protector around the edges. This is going to keep the edges of the crust from burning. I love this tool. This is an expandable version. I'm going to include a product link down in the video description box below, so make sure to check that out. Meanwhile, let's get this pie into the oven. Once your pie is baked, you'll want to let it cool down for an hour or two so the filling can thicken up. I made this one last night. So let's grab a knife and cut into it. This crust is so buttery and crispy. Check out that incredible apple pie on the inside. This cranberry apple pie smells so good when it's in the oven. I absolutely love the aroma of apple spice, that cinnamon, those tart cranberries. This is going to be the ultimate treat for the holiday season. I love that you can also make it ahead of time. I made this one last night. Just let it cool down at room temperature, and then when you're ready to serve it, you can just heat it up just a bit. I love a little warm apple pie slice. Then you can add some whipped cream or some ice cream on top if you want. Let's dig in to enjoy. This looks so good. You can grab some of those cranberries, some of that buttery pie crust. That was simply incredible. I love the combination of the sweet apples with the tart cranberries, that buttery pie crust. Everything comes together and tastes so incredible. This is one of my favorite pie recipes. I just love the combination of flavors. I hope you enjoy this delicious and easy pie recipe at home for this holiday season. It's going to be so perfect for Thanksgiving. Don't forget to head on down into that video description box for the recipe link. I have all the details online. Thank you so much for watching my latest episode, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.